1. Cold War and satellite technology. Mid-20th century. The new arms race. The Cold War, a period of intense political, military, and ideological rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, was a conflict defined not by direct warfare, but by the relentless pursuit of technological supremacy. While both superpowers amassed vast nuclear arsenals capable of mutually annihilation, they also competed to dominate the final frontier, space. This new arena for competition led to the space race, with each side seeking to demonstrate its technological prowess through satellite technology, space exploration, and the development of intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. However, the Cold War rivalry in space was not just about exploration. The use of satellite technology and space-based surveillance opened a new chapter in the arms race, where the ability to monitor, track, and gather information from the skies became as critical as the development of nuclear weapons. Satellites not only enabled the two superpowers to spy on each other, but also laid the groundwork for modern global communication networks, navigation systems, and, eventually, artificial intelligence, AI. This chapter explores the emergence of satellite technology during the Cold War, examining how the US and Soviet Union's competition for dominance in space reshaped global geopolitics, shifted warfare from physical battlegrounds to surveillance and control from above, and laid the foundation for today's AI-driven surveillance and communication systems. The chapter will also reflect on the relevance of this technological race to the broader argument that access to AI should be considered a human right, a right that ensures equitable use of technology for the benefit of all, rather than concentrating power in the hands of a few. The space race, a new frontier for technological competition. The Cold War's space race was sparked by the launch of the Soviet satellite Sputnik 1 on October 4, 1957. As the first artificial satellite to orbit the Earth, Sputnik marked a stunning victory for Soviet science and technology, sending shockwaves through the United States and its allies. The successful launch demonstrated the Soviet Union's ability to develop advanced rocketry capable of sending payloads into space, technology that had obvious military applications, particularly in the development of ICBMs that could deliver nuclear warheads across continents. The United States, shocked by the Soviet Union's leap ahead, quickly responded with a massive investment in its own space program. In 1958, the US launched its first satellite, Explorer 1, and established the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, to coordinate its efforts in space exploration. Thus began the space race, with both superpowers competing to achieve key milestones, including sending humans into space, landing on the Moon, and developing ever more sophisticated satellite systems. While the space race captured the public's imagination, with iconic achievements such as the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969, much of the competition between the US and Soviet Union was driven by military and strategic concerns. Satellites quickly became a critical tool for surveillance, communication, and navigation, enabling the superpowers to monitor each other's military activities, track the movement of troops and ships, and even detect missile launches. This shift from physical warfare to control and observation from space represented a new kind of arms race, one where the ability to dominate space rather than the battlefield became the key to global power. Satellites and the Cold War. Surveillance from above. Satellites emerged as a central element of the Cold War's technological competition, transforming the way military and intelligence operations were conducted. One of the most significant developments was the deployment of reconnaissance satellites, designed to spy on enemy territories from orbit. The U.S. Corona program, which began in 1960, was the first successful satellite reconnaissance program, capable of capturing images of Soviet military installations and missile sites. These satellites used film-based cameras to take high-resolution photographs of Earth's surface, which were then ejected in capsules and recovered upon re-entry. The Soviets also developed their own reconnaissance satellites, and by the mid-1960s, both superpowers had the capability to monitor each other's activities from space. This surveillance technology allowed for unprecedented levels of intelligence gathering, giving each side a clearer picture of the other's military capabilities and reducing the risk of surprise attacks. The arms control agreements that emerged during the Cold War, such as the Strategic Arms Limitation Talks (SALT), were made possible in part because of satellite surveillance, which enabled both sides to verify compliance with nuclear arms reduction treaties. Satellite technology also played a critical role in early warning systems designed to detect missile launches. The U.S. Defense Support Program (DSP) satellites, for example, used infrared sensors to detect the heat signatures of missile launches, providing the U.S. with valuable warning time in the event of a nuclear attack. This capability, coupled with the development of nuclear deterrence strategies, such as mutually assured destruction (MAD), helped prevent the Cold War from escalating into full-scale nuclear war. In this context, satellites became the ultimate tool for maintaining a delicate balance of power. They provided both the US and the Soviet Union with the ability to keep watch over each other's activities, preventing misunderstandings, and providing a layer of transparency that helped avert direct conflict. At the same time, however, the growing reliance on space-based surveillance also deepened the technological divide between the superpowers and the rest of the world, as only a few nations possessed the resources and expertise to develop and deploy such systems. From military surveillance to global connectivity. While the Cold War began with a focus on military competition, the technologies developed during this period had far-reaching consequences beyond the immediate military context. Satellites, originally designed for reconnaissance and intelligence, soon found civilian applications that would revolutionize global communication, navigation, and scientific research. The launch of Telstar 1 in 1962, the first commercial communications satellite, demonstrated the potential for satellites to connect the world in new ways. Telstar enabled live television broadcasts across the Atlantic, linking Europe and North America in real time for the first time in history. This marked the beginning of the era of global satellite communication, which would eventually lead to the development of the Internet, GPS, and the global communication networks that now underpin modern society. As satellite technology advanced, so too did its applications in Earth observation, weather forecasting, and scientific research. Satellites, such as Landsat, launched in 1972, provided unprecedented data on Earth's environment, allowing scientists to monitor deforestation, urban growth, and climate change from space. The ability to gather and analyze vast amounts of data from satellites laid the foundation for the development of artificial intelligence (AI) and machine learning, as these technologies enabled the processing and interpretation of complex data sets on a global scale. Satellites, AI, and global inequality. The race to dominate space during the Cold War not only transformed military strategy and global communication, but also laid the groundwork for the modern world's AI-driven systems of surveillance, navigation, and control. Today, satellites are an essential component of the global AI infrastructure, enabling everything from GPS and weather prediction to internet connectivity and real-time global monitoring. However, just as the Cold War space race created stark divisions between the superpowers and the rest of the world, the current AI revolution risks exacerbating global inequalities. The vast resources required to develop and deploy space-based technologies, whether for military, communication, or AI applications, are concentrated in the hands of a few wealthy nations and corporations. This technological concentration creates a digital divide, where access to the benefits of AI and satellite-based technologies is limited to those with the means to afford it. As AI systems become increasingly integrated into everyday life, guiding decisions in healthcare, finance, education, and governance, there is a growing concern that these technologies will further entrench existing power imbalances. The countries and corporations that control the infrastructure supporting AI, including satellites, data centers, and communication networks, wield enormous influence over the flow of information, economic opportunities, and political power. In this context, the argument for AI as a human right becomes even more urgent. Just as access to clean water, healthcare, and education are recognized as fundamental human rights, access to the benefits of AI and the technologies that support it should be available to all people, regardless of their geographic location or economic status. Ensuring equitable access to AI is critical not only for addressing the digital divide, but also for promoting global fairness, autonomy, and empowerment in a world increasingly shaped by technological forces. The geopolitical legacy of satellite technology. The Cold War's space race fundamentally altered the geopolitical landscape, shaping not only the military strategies of the US and Soviet Union, but also the future of global communication, surveillance, and AI development. The intense competition to dominate space accelerated technological innovation, leading to breakthroughs that transformed modern life. However, the legacy of this competition is a world in which technological power is unevenly distributed, and the benefits of advanced technologies like AI are concentrated in the hands of a few. The lessons of the Cold War's satellite race are particularly relevant as we confront the challenges of the AI age. Just as satellites became a tool for global surveillance and control, AI has the potential to reshape the balance of power in ways that could either empower individuals or exacerbate inequality. If access to AI remains restricted to a privileged few, the potential for exploitation, control, and surveillance by those who wield technological power will only increase. Having another release for the COGS. The Cold War competition for space and satellite technology was a pivotal moment in the history of technological innovation, marking the transition from physical warfare to control through surveillance, communication, and intelligence gathering. The use of satellites to monitor, spy, and dominate the global stage reshaped geopolitics, laying the foundation for today's interconnected world and the rise of AI-driven systems. As we move further into the 21st century, the legacy of the Cold War's technological race serves as both a warning and an opportunity. The rise of AI, like the emergence of satellite technology, holds immense potential for human progress, but only if it is distributed equitably. Ensuring that all people have access to the benefits of AI, regardless of their geographic or economic circumstances, is not just a matter of technological fairness,